Surprise review! Oh, it's not really a surprise. I do one of these every week. Sometimes more than once a week. The surprise is that I was not expecting to do this one today, but here we are, and we're doing it. This is NECA's new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate April O'Neil. Bam! So this has been hyped up for a while now. I know the actress was involved in production and stuff, so that's pretty neat. A lot of people were looking forward to it. And the other NECA figures in this line have been really great, so I'm expecting more of the same. She comes in a really cool lenticular box. Static and April. I don't think the other one's got boxes this cool. Is it reserved just for her? Nice full promotional picture on the side, some smaller ones on the other side, and more still on the back, along with a photo of their turtles. And the turtle photo doesn't look too great. It's really pixelated. So the lenticular cover opens up to reveal April Within. April Within sounds like the name of a book, an autobiography, or like some kind of really depressing indie film. Oh, and on the bottom of the package, which I always appreciate that they do this, they have some credits, basically, for people involved in the production of the figure. And I think that's just really nice. All right, let's open this up. I do have to say I'm not a super huge Ninja Turtles fan, and it's been quite a while since I've seen the movies. There's like 3 of them, right? Probably pissing off a whole bunch of Ninja Turtles fans right now, but I know the basics of April. I know the basics. I've heard some people are unhappy with this figure, and I can't imagine why yet, but we're on our way to finding out possibly why. They're serious about the tape on their packaging, that is for sure. Oh, they've got her wired up good in the back. Times like this, I wish I had scissors in here with me, but I don't, and I'm too lazy to go get them. So we just expend even more energy by slowly undoing these and not learning our lesson. That's pretty much the way of things around here. Why are we doing this today? Because it got here today. I feel like I've been doing a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff. There is a fly in here that does not want to leave. First impressions. Even as a not super hardcore Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fanatic, I really like this figure. And if that's wrong, then I don't want to be right. I mean, in my opinion, it looks just like Judith Hoag in the movie, so the likeness I think they definitely got down, and some people may disagree with that, and that's fine. They can disagree all they want. I'm just spitting my opinion. The face sculpt, aside from being accurate, is very nicely done, and so is the color on here. And behind her hair, you can even see that she has an earring in her ear. And let's talk about the hair for a second, because that is some 80s hair for sure. Very large hair. It was a different era, and the hair is painted a dark reddish brown, accentuated by some lighter highlights. And the clothing I like a lot too. They even have her little brooch there and these buttons and these super cool folds on the sleeves, all the way down to her hands, which are accentuated by a tiny watch and an even tinier thumb ring. We match. I think that means I get to make friends with giant turtles now. And she has these sick looking heels. Those are nice. And your mileage may vary, but I really love the print on this outfit. It all kind of blends together into one cohesive outfit. And once again, 80s. On a more personal note, it's nice to have a figure of a lady just like looking like a lady, you know? Like a real human woman, TM. She's even got some slight veins sculpted down her arm and on her hands, which I think is a really nice touch. I don't think I've ever seen a female figure, at least not an action figure, I'm not talking about sculpture or whatever, that has veins on the hands. I appreciate that, because little known fact, women have veins. I know. Shocking. Now let's talk a tiny bit about articulation. If you've seen my videos before, you know that I don't super like to go into detail about it. Other videos do that better, are more interested in that. It's just not something that I necessarily really care about. I do go over the basics usually, and this will be no different. But there is a very important reason that I'm mentioning the articulation in this figure, and that is because of the knees. And this ties into kind of a paint issue also. So you can see here that the legs were cast in April's flesh color, and then they were painted over to give the look of her pantyhose, which was also a thing in the 80s and early 90s. Glad that went away. The problem is that the paint wants to flake off, especially when you move the leg around a lot. And it's not just a problem at the knee, it's a problem at the ankles too. You can see before I even got her out of the package, the paint was already chipping off. I'm wondering why they didn't just cast her legs in this color already, but maybe they were too along in the process and they realized, oh wait, she's wearing pantyhose. What do? Paint it. Sir? Paint it, I said. And so they painted it. And then this happened, which isn't necessarily a problem. You're not going to be displaying her from the back anyway, at least I would think not. And if you are, well, I'm not here to ask questions. April actually gets more movement in her head than you would think because of this mop of hair. It's a pretty decent range of motion. Not bad at all. in my opinion. Arm up and down swivel, single elbow, and the pattern and sculpt on this sleeve really helps hide that joint. Hinge and swivel at the wrists, and you need to be gentle because these are tiny, tiny wrists, which is usually an issue you run into with female action figures, and one that I don't necessarily have a problem with because wrists can be really tiny, but it is a hazard when you are messing around with the hands, so be careful. Slight crunch at the abs, twist at the waist above this skirt line, and of course the skirt gets in the way of any leg movements, but she's not really an action hero, she's just kind of along for the ride, so I can't imagine what you would want her to be doing. I don't want to imagine what you would want her to be doing, and I'm very grateful she comes with this stand, because these heels do not facilitate standing on her own very well, so she kind of needs this. Honestly, she looks super cool. What a cool lady. I would love to hang out with her. So I heard that there were some complaints with her purse accessory that the paint was flaking off, and mine is no different. If you look, you can see that the paint already is kind of wanting to crackle up. It's not like being confined to the plastic. It wants to be free. I'm already getting some flakes, so I'm gonna try not to mess around with it too much because I don't want it to be flaky. I want it to be non-flaky? What's the opposite of flaky? It is made of a rubbery material though, and it can open. But I really don't want to mess around with that too much because, like I said, I don't want more paint to fall off. With that said, just looking at it, it's really neat. I never thought that I would see an 80s hobo bag like this in plastic form. And it looks super cool with her. Man, the more I look at this figure, the more I really like it. I like that it's just a lady. I mean, I know April's not just a lady. She's an interesting and cool character, but it's nice just having a lady. So in addition to the purse, she comes with a second head. I guess if the first head was more of a neutral expression, this is a happy, excited expression. I want to say that the sculpt and the paintwork is a little bit more nuanced in this one. As much as this does look like Judith Hoag, this one looks even more like her, if that's possible. And I think the paintwork is a little bit more on point with this head. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and change that out. Get it? Go ahead. How many times have I made that joke? I feel like I've made it more than once. Probably at least twice. Alright, it didn't pop on for me, but it seems to be on there pretty well, so we'll come back to her later. She also comes with a microphone for reporting, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be this way, but the head of my microphone is a little bit crooked. It might just be that it's supposed to be that way, and I just don't know how microphones work. But yeah, it comes with this posable wire that I really don't want to mess around with too much because it's small and I don't want to break anything. She comes with a nifty stack of pizza boxes, and honestly they look a bit small compared to her, but maybe they're personal pizzas. I mean, this box is shaped like a rectangle, and I can't think of where I've seen rectangular pizza boxes before. I'm sure they exist, so don't at me in the comments. She also comes with a sai, and I can't remember the relevance behind this besides that she's hanging out with ninjas who are fighting other ninjas, and they all have sai. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them have sai. And speaking of paint problems, the silver paint on this sai seems to have rubbed off a little bit. Also, not a problem for me, and easily remedied, should I so choose to fix it, which I probably won't. I got a lot of stuff to do, you know. Last but not least, hands. Tiny, tiny microphone holding hands. Curled fist hand for punching? I don't know. And a pointy hand. So let's gently switch those out just to prove we can do it. Prove that we can do anything. I believe in you as much as you believe in me. And that might not be saying a lot, but buddy, that's all I've got for you. She's pointing at someone and laughing. Just slip the microphone right into her fingies. After messing around with the Super 7 Ultimates Ninja Turtle line, it's nice to have a figure that will just accept the accessory that's given to it instead of having to fuss around with their hands a lot. I also really like that the purse is sculpted with this divot in the back, so it will conform to her body when it's on her. It still falls off pretty easily, but you also have the grasping hand that can grasp the strap, and there she is. She looks super cool, honestly. So if we want to compare her with another human-type figure in this line, here is a foot soldier, and that scale seems about right to me. I was going to say he seems a little short in comparison to her, but if I remember right, a lot of the foot soldiers were young boys. I mean, not super young, like teenagers. So it would make sense that they would stand at about the same height or a little bit shorter than a full-grown woman. And then we have Donatello, the best turtle. That's just my opinion. I didn't come here for discourse. Yep, that seems right too. They look really good all together. April's the only one that needs a stand to stand up though because of those heels and tiny feet in general. Turtles definitely don't need a stand just to stand up. So all in all, really nice figure. I really enjoy her. Now we just need an unmasked Casey, which I don't know how lucky we're going to be in acquiring one of those, but we'll see. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you got an April figure, I hope you enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed this one. As always, likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are always welcome, and I'll see you guys on the next one.